hardest part in the last 8 months, probably the uncertainty. When we went into this in March, we were at an award ceremony in London, fist pumping and elbow touching and not really understanding the severity of what was going to go on.
I'd probably say team spirit and courage within adversity.
I think personally for me the hardest thing is I bounce off people. I'm an extrovert. I enjoy social interaction, so obviously working at home in isolation is quite challenging for me.
On a professional level, it's obviously been really hard to see all our friends and colleagues in hospitality, some of whom have had to close, some of whom have had to reduce staffing numbers, and it's been a real struggle for the industry in general.
Well, I think the whole 8 months has been a very testing period for everyone, both for our team but also for everyone in the industry. But I think that's also been accelerated after having the highs of the Shorties Awards that we organised in the middle of March, and we all had such a good time meeting everyone at a boat party in the middle of London, and it just really fueled my optimism that we can get back to face-to-face events for 2021.
I went from being the only person in the house working at home to having the entire family working from home, so every room in our house, apart from the bathroom practically, feels like an office at the moment, so it's hard to escape.
I massively missed the buzz and excitement of interacting with people in person. It is so important to your mental, physical, emotional health, and mine has definitely been a little strained over these last 8 months, and it's taught me to respect and have more appreciation for those around me. We all have war wounds and we all have a story to tell.
It's been a challenge, but everyone has stepped up to the mark, and we're all doing okay.
Well, I can't say I've grown much, as I'm only 5'2". But in terms of successes, well, I've launched my own podcast and webinar series.
So I think one of the biggest learnings from the pandemic is that when you just think you've got a plan together, it's time to change it, and sort of that kind of adapt and agility. So I think the successes have been that we've been able to very quickly switch strategies, add new things in.
Well, I guess the biggest thing that we've taken on board is the webinar series. We've had to learn quite fast how to produce slick, informative, engaging webinars, and I've hosted quite a few of them, which has been something I've actually really enjoyed. It was quite nerve-wracking at first. I don't know why having a virtual audience should be more intimidating than having a physical audience, but to start with I did find it quite hard, but now I really enjoy them.
Have I grown and what successes? I would say as a person, I've learnt to just go with it, not to plan too much, not to think too far ahead, wake up every day and just go with whatever challenges I'm faced with without overthinking it, which in turn I think you end up overcompensating. So I've definitely learnt to slow down and think more intricately about life has its challenges, and you're going to be met with things that you're not prepared for, and it's allowed me to just be a bit more relaxed.
I've been so grateful and humbled by everyone's support for our team. They've really helped push me outside of my comfort zone by giving me webinars, podcasts, all these different types of media that we're now starting to do on short-term rentals, well, accelerating that at least.
Okay, the big success for IHM has been understanding the team's skill set that was perhaps hidden pre-crisis. Give you an example, we've got Paul Stevens, who's editor of Short Term Rentals, recently promoted. He's hosting webinars every week now that he simply didn't do. It wasn't in his job description, but it's been amazing to see team members ultimately step up during the crisis. Eloise as well, Eloise Hansen, news editor of Boutique Hotel News, exactly the same thing. And I've taken motivation myself to really look at perhaps the younger members of the team, their contribution to the business, to keep striving and ultimately get through. It's been super.
future that we learn from this. It's been probably the toughest 8 months for a lot of people, professionally and personally, and I think it shouldn't be for nothing, and that we take something from this, whether that's to be kinder, treat each other with more respect, help one another, and actually realise that we're all in this together, and that something so severe can happen globally. So yeah, in summary, that we just actually take something from this and don't go back to normal.
I think 2021 is going to give everybody an opportunity to hopefully get some normality back, and see people in real life, which will be great in sort of the business environment. However, what I do think it's going to give us a great opportunity to do is to work with all those things we have learned over the last 8 months, and almost create this hybrid solution to events. Merry Christmas!
Merry Christmas!